score: Wrexham 1, Briton Ferry 3. Oh, shame this is for us. But this ding-dong rivalry with Briton Ferry keeps going. Another chapter in it. And they win at the racecourse. And in doing so, they clinch second place. Cardiff beat TNS. They, in doing so, won the title. We can't catch Briton Ferry now. And so now it all boils down to the last two games of the season. Whether we can get third and match what we achieved last season, or whether TNS can leapfrog us. Remember, of course, our final game of the season is at TNS. I've got to say, though, regardless, this has been a season of achievements. Doesn't matter if you come third or fourth. It's getting into that second phase in the top half. That is the amazing achievement and represents further progress. And, of course, after TNS comes the Welsh Cup final and the chance to our first trophy. Anyway, back to this game. I mean, you've heard me talk about Briton Ferry plenty over the last week or so, and it doesn't change. They have a specific way of playing, which is to make the game a scrap. It's difficult to play against, and they executed it superbly at the racecourse, and as a result won the game. There was a hope that, a nice big pitch like the racecourse, we might be able to exploit the space that doesn't exist on their tight pitch at Old Road. But they did extremely well and performed. The game was played more on their terms. It was an ugly affair, and that's what they wanted. I'm not trying to be a sore loser saying that. I'm just stating a tactical fact. That's the sort of game they want, where it's constantly scrapping for second balls. They're good at that, and they took their chances and they forced mistakes. And yeah, fair enough. That's why they've been exceptional this season. They've been promoted and then straight away have come second in the league. They've beaten Cardiff, Swansea and us. And yeah, fair play. Hats off to them. We made one change, and it was a shame to lose Karen Allen through injury. Phoebe Davis came in to the back three though, and obviously she brings similarly robust qualities. We started positively. The first quarter of an hour or so we were on top of the game. But our passing wasn't quite as sharp as it normally is. And as a result, we only really made the one opportunity. There was space to be exploited. Sometimes wondered if we just snatched it a tiny bit. You know what I mean? They just knew what to do to exploit Briton Ferry and get in around the sides of them. And if maybe we were just hurrying it because we knew it was on, you could see it was on, but the passing was just not quite right. And so that one chance came when Lily Jones squared it to Nat Clark, who was wearing the captain's armband. She drove it into the edge of the box. Brilliant little turn around the corner by Iddenden, finds Suckley in a shooting position in the D. Llewellyn gets to her quickly and gets a challenge in, but Suckley shows good strength, rides the challenge, and then tries to blast it in from the edge of the box with her right foot. Just pulls it wide of the left post. If that had gone in, it would have been, I think, got interesting. It was a good effort, and if that had gone in, well, Briton Ferry would have found themselves under a little bit of pressure. As there is, the game started to turn more their way. It was a fight. Lots of second balls to fight for all the time. They were grinding us down. They had a shout in the 26th minute for a penalty as Walkley got into the box. Lily Jones came across to cover and Walkley drove the ball at Jones. It's hard to tell from the footage if it hit her hand or not, if I'm honest with you. But the close proximity of Walkley and how hard she hit it, and the fact that Lily's hand is in a natural position, I would say, pretty much tucked in, it means that whether it hit her hand or not, I think it would have been a mistake to give a penalty. However, it went round for the corner, and we were punished anyway. The corner came in, it was cleared, but it was picked up 40-odd yards out by Broadley. She just pumped it back in, and it was such a disappointing way to concede, this was. Our defence, some of them stepped out, some didn't. There was a ragged line, and as a result, Richardson was left unmarked, about 15 yards out, 10 yards out, right channel. But she was definitely onside, no question about that. And it was a very good header by her, it's got to be said. She scored a header against us in the first game, second round of the first phase, down at Old Road. This one was a very different type of header, where it backs kind of to goal, but she still puts a lot of power on an awkward header. Great placement across Craven and in off the far post. And Briton Ferry have got the lead. Wrexham respond well, though. We start getting the ball down and moving it about again. Iddenden up front is constantly looking good. And she, in the end, scores 7 minutes later. It's a great move by Wrexham. Cara Jones coming forwards down the right, working a delightful 1-2 with Brooke Cairns, driving down, slashing a nasty, nasty ball into the near post. Iddenden, a defender, attacking it. It unsights Young, the goalkeeper, who at the near post can't hang on to it, and it ricochets up off her to Iddenden. It's a very tight angle, and Young is blocking the near post, and the defender's lunging in to block the near post as well. Brilliant finish by Iddenden. She's close in, but to manage to hit the target from there, that's a great finish. And Wrexham are level, and at this point, you're thinking, okay, we've had a scare, but this is a resilient team. We've clicked. That move was lovely. Maybe now we can grab hold of the game and impose our style on it. And we do have a good spell. 4 minutes later, we nearly take the lead. Quick throw into Cairns, who turns beautifully and sweeps the ball in. Tremendous cross for Suckley, about 15 yards out. She meets it with a powerful header, but she just puts it wide of the left-hand post, just trying to put it in the top corner. And we get punished because 3 minutes later, we're behind again, and it's a real punch in the guts. Curl, who scored 2 last weekend, feeding it to Jade Crofts, who again is being asked to play a lone role up front. She hits a shot from the right corner of the box, and the placement's perfect. It's not whistling along, but the placement is perfect. It goes across Craven, hits the far post, and goes in. It looked like it was going wide to me, but yeah, perfect placement. And Wrexham, we find ourselves behind once more. And the second half begins with Briton Ferry managing to continue in that vein, and they make a good chance early on. Great touch by Curl to prod the ball out to Crofts in a similar position to where she scored from, a little bit narrower. She drills a great shot. She really gets hold of this one across Craven. Great save by Craven. Just brilliantly to get down low and get a strong right hand to it. But the ball ricochets into the goal mouth, where Katie Sharp does well to beat Owen to it in front of the open goal and lunge in and get it clear. But our luck doesn't hold, because in the 8th minute of the second half, the absolute killer blow. And such a sad moment. Phoebe Davis playing a back bounce, just tops it a bit. It's under hit. Walkley's done well to anticipate it. Craven is stranded. Walkley runs around her and knocks it into the net. She keeps her cool well, because Sharp is making a recovering run and blocking her past the goal, but Walkley finishes well. And 3-1 down, we got a mountain to climb against a strong side with a good defence and a lot of confidence. To be fair, soon afterwards, we have an opportunity. Cara Jones, we start winning corners, and Jones puts a lot of balls into good areas. This one around the penalty spot, Nat Clark meets it well with a header, but it's blocked by a defender standing in the 6-yard box. Just before the hour mark, something clearly has to be done, and we make a triple change, and all 3 substitutes do enliven things a bit. Rebecca Pritchard comes on. She's on the right-hand side, replacing Amber Lightfoot, with Cara Jones switching to the left. Up front, Rosie Hughes comes on, and she is replacing Brooke Cairns, which means Ava Suckley drops into midfield. So we have more strikers, if you like, on the pitch. Suckley will try and get up and support the strikers. And then Mary Gibbard comes on for Phoebe Davis. Nat Clark drops into the back 3, Gibbard into midfield. Within a minute, we nearly have another horrible moment. Lizzie Craven is so good with the ball at her feet, but she has her one mistake of the season. She's on the edge of the area, left-hand side, looks to switch it across to Clark on the right flank, and Richardson is there and hits it straight to her in front of a complete empty penalty area. Luckily for Wrexham, I think it caught Richardson out, and she took a heavy touch and therefore isn't able to get a shot in by the time she's retrieved it. Wow, a real escape. We slowly start to come back into it. There's a fantastic move halfway through the second half. If this had gone in, we could have had a heck of a finish. Suckley, dropping off down the left-hand side, plays a great ball down the flank. Rosie Hughes sprints onto it. Tremendous cross. And Iddenden attacking it, times her header beautifully. Great contact, just wider than the near post though, from about 10 yards out. It would have been a hell of a goal. It would have been highly reminiscent, actually, of the goal Rosie Hughes scored when we played Swansea at the racecourse last season. But it just goes the wrong side of the post. To be fair, we put a lot of pressure on in the last 20 minutes, although I think Briton Ferry were happy just to, sort of cover themselves up on the ropes and dig in. Certainly in the latter stages, there was a lot of just launching it in a half where there was nobody, just to get a breather. And they defended well. But we do have opportunities. Cara Jones sweeps in a corner. Mary Gibbard nods it into the goalmouth. Idden, standing wide of the right post, again with a tight angle, again finishes really well, heads it into the net. But it's disallowed. Now, I've got to say, first things first, nobody complains. No Wrexham player argues with the ref. So, okay, it looks like we accept it should be disallowed. I can't for the life of it see why. I've gone and watched it a few times. I've been watching a linesman, just a corner go out and back in again. Nope, the linesman doesn't put the flag up, and the linesman doesn't put the flag up for offside, which we thought was the other possibility, but Idden is not offside. Players are running into the goal mouth, obviously, so I'm looking for pushes and shirt pulls. I can't see anything. Briton Ferry don't ask for anything, which is, I've got to say, weird, because they'll will pressure a referee, I assure you. So I don't know what it was disallowed for. I really can't see it. If anyone can, please say. I'm happy to accept it should be disallowed. Like I said, the fact that the Wrexham players didn't complain, to me, suggests the ref got it right. But I've got no idea why it was disallowed, even having watched it a few times. Anyway, again, if that had gone in, it could have got interesting. 5 minutes later, there's danger at the other end. Potentially controversial danger, mind. It starts off with Walkley getting on the edge of the area, left channel. She has a very good game. And she just shifts feet and gets past Sharp. It's a great driving run. So gets close range, smashes a shot in. Tremendous save by Craven, but she takes one in the face in order to make the save. The ball ricochets back out. Craven is on the floor, clearly hurt. Amazingly, the ref doesn't stop play. So you've got a goalkeeper lying on the ground in the 6-yard box. He allows play to continue. I mean, you could argue it's unsporting, or you could argue it's a difficult decision. The ref should have acted. Smitham carries on and hits a shot at the empty goal, which takes a deflection, and the deflection takes it narrowly wide of the right post. The ref blows just as the ball is going past the post and ends up giving us the ball back rather than the corner, which suggests he had, he has stopped play, but he needs to do it sooner than that. If that had gone in, we'd have had a hell of a situation on our hands. If the ref hadn't blown his whistle, that would have been a goal. So, controversial. Anyway, it doesn't go in. Craven is treated and then is given the ball back, and we try to resume. And in the last 10 minutes, we push on once more. Hughes picking the ball up on the left flank, and a fantastic pass. Such awareness. Just as Briton Ferry's defence step up, she turns it round the corner. Idden's made a brilliant run from deep, and Courtney Young, who earlier had some quite deep starting positions, does really well to get out and get there ahead of Idden to deny her the chance to score. The final opportunity comes 5 minutes from the end as we're committing players forwards. Briton Ferry spring a break on us. Suddenly Owen is driving through the middle and it's a 3-on-1 break. Only Clark is back. For me, Owen takes the wrong option, but it very nearly works. She shoots from about 25 yards, but it's a hell of a hit. Craven's got no chance to get near it. It hits the face of the bar and drops down, and it's a really big chance for Walkley, who manages to drive it over the bar. Skims the bar, but it's a hell of a chance because Craven has already committed to try and reach a shot to hit the bar. And, 4 minutes, I beg your pardon, of added time, and they're not too troubled, in all honesty, Briton Ferry during it. We spend a lot of time in and around their box, but we really struggle. We can't carve out an opportunity. And what a shame. Such a shame, the big game in a big stadium when, we have been playing so well, but unfortunately that long run ends. I mean, to be fair, the last time we lost a league game was down at Cardiff in phase 1. That's quite a long time ago. And it's been a brilliant run, and we go again against Cardiff next weekend, and then against TNS, and then the cup final. But it's just a shame that today, for whatever reason, and I think a big part of it is Briton Ferry are a nightmare to play against, and they executed their game plan beautifully. We just couldn't get ourselves going, sadly. Looking through the performances, again, Craven made a couple of really good saves, one of which obviously was the injury, and that low-down right-handed save too was a really, really good one. She'll have been disappointed with the first 2 goals going past her, but having said that, they are perfectly placed, and it can be difficult to get across to those. But yeah, she's had a superb season, and like those 2 saves, top quality. Our central defenders, poor Phoebe Davis, she had a good solid game, and just that underhit back pass was such a pity. I mean, she's not brought off because of that. She's brought off so Wrexham can bring on more attacking players, and having Clark at the back just adds the possibility she can drive forwards a bit. But I just felt so sorry for her, because what a fine player she is for us. That was a shame. Erin Lovers had a solid game on the left-hand side of the back three. Again, this improved heading ability was good. You have to stand up to be counted against Briton Ferry. She won a lot of strong challenges as well, and had a solid game, as did Katie Sharp, who had to deal with a lot. She mops up behind the centre-backs really well and did a lot of that on a lot of occasions, and won her fair share of headers. The wing-backs, Amber Lightfoot was getting into some nice positions. She played a couple of lovely little passes inside to put players into creative positions, but she didn't manage to hit the target enough with the crosses, I think she'll feel, and was brought off when Wrexham reshuffled. On the other flank, Cara Jones, full of industry, lots of good set pieces again, and when she switched flanks, was coming inside and trying to get into goal scoring positions. Things just didn't quite fall for her today, in all honesty, in terms of really hurting them, although her ball in for the goal was absolutely fantastic. In the centre of midfield, Nat Clark, wearing a captain's armband, had a good game, I thought, was really working hard, trying to get us up the pitch. Lots of good intersections and challenges and accurate passing when sometimes our passing was going a bit astray. Lily Jones really rolled her sleeves up. First 15 minutes, we looked very good in the middle of midfield in the way that we were dealing with Briton Ferry, winning our challenges and getting ourselves onto the front foot. And she was a big part of that. And she kept working hard, just trying to make something happen. Things just wouldn't, again, quite drop for her. Brooke Cairns has some nice moments, not least that pass for Cara Jones to rip in the cross for the goal. She was sacrificed as we decided to play Suckley into midfield in a more attacking position, but she has some good moments on the ball. And then up front, I think you could make a case for saying that in a way Suckley and Iddenden were the ones who did something similar to their top form. Certainly Iddenden was player of the match. I think no question about that. She was excellent, really good, scored a goal, went close on a few occasions as well. Her touch was tremendous. She's so confident on the ball, the way she brings players into play. She was very good, Iddenden. Really good. And Suckley as well. I mean, apart from that early chance, the chances didn't really fall for her. And she had the header as well, didn't she? Both of them went close. And she was lively as ever. Her work rate is utterly tremendous. She had a brilliant, near the end of the game, sprinting back down the right flank and making a great sliding tackle. She enjoyed that. The crowd loved it as well. It was just such a shame. And the 3 subs made a difference. Rosie Hughes up front was class. She was constantly looking to get at players. She was pulling out wide. Her awareness, some of the passes she played, split Briton Ferry open. It was a very good cameo again by Hughes off the bench. Rebecca Pritchard, I was happy to see her get a good half hour because she's not had as much pitch time lately as normal, and I thought she was strong. She was robust in the challenge. She stood up to the scrap that Briton Ferry were putting in, and she put a couple of decent balls into the box as well. I thought Rebecca Pritchard did very well indeed. And then Mary Gibbard as well in midfield. Her height means that she's able to win headers against Briton Ferry's aerial approach. She got into some forward positions, set pieces, and caused problems too. And the 3 subs, just in general, I think just lifted things a little bit, got us going again, got us back to what we were looking to achieve. But ultimately, sadly, the unbeaten run ends, but it's put us in a wonderful position, and now we have 3rd place and the Welsh Cup to tilt for. 3 big games left this season. Let's see if we can do it, eh? With a final score of Wrexham 1, Briton Ferry 3. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.